Hey everyone, it's Matt from That Time We Woke Up in a Podcast and Had to Explain Manga, our heated adventures overanalyzing manga we find interesting, otherwise known as the Over Manga Cast. This week we're going to be reading chapters 1 through 14 of Witch Watch by Kenta Shinohara. It's a fun manga with some fun stuff and, you know, maybe even some fun people coming on board. Enjoy the episode.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. My name is Sam, and here at the top of the show, we are joined by a special guest. Welcome back, friend of the pod, Colton. How's it going, Colton?
It is going great, and I am here for I think this is my third guest spot on this show, so I'm a part of the Three Timers Club.
Yes, that makes you an official friend of the pod, as our arbitrary rules have dictated.
I'm glad to know that I wasn't a friend before. I'm glad to know that now.
It's important the other guests know their place, really, is what that's for.
You've gone through the official vetting process. Yeah, Colton, you're one of the hosts on Manga Mavericks and about a dozen other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a part of and produce way too many things, but I guess that's kind of the most important thing is that I am a part of Manga Mavericks, a podcast where we talk about manga not only as a medium but as an industry. That's our very professional tagline.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Our tagline is an isekai joke.
Us noted fans of the isekai genre here. But yeah, what's your familiarity with Witch Watch?
So, Witch Watch is a series that I did initially try to keep up with. I don't really want to say week to week, because honestly, that would be a lie. Every time I want to keep up with the Jump series weekly, that just like I maybe do that for like a month, and then it just kind of like falls off my radar, just because like I don't have the mental capacity to even follow like 2 or 3 series every week, let alone like the whole magazine. But I did initially catch at least the first few chapters of this when it initially premiered. I want to say I read about like the first year's worth of chapters, and then I'm currently very, very behind on it, which makes me very sad because I am actually a very big fan of Kenta Shinohara and his works. Sket Dance is one of my favorite manga of all time. Astro Lost in Space is nothing short of incredible. I don't know if I want to say this right up front. I will admit, I don't like Witch Watch as much as the other 2 series, but but from what I've read of it, I have been enjoying it, and I really can't wait to talk about something Shinohara related on the show today, at least. So
awesome. Yeah, for me, I hadn't heard of it previously. It did show up as, you know, the Shonen Jump app giving me random notifications of like, here, check this out, brand new chapters of this thing. And that was about the extent of it. How about you, Matt?
So Witch Watch has lived in my recommendeds on the Shonen Jump app for a while. It has also lived in the Over Manga Cast email box because, holy crap, do the small number of people who regularly send in recommendations, the entire collective of them have sent in Witch Watch on separate occasions. So it got recommended. And also, more importantly, it's been living in my Twitter DMs for, I think, about a year at this point, where I said to Colton, yeah, we'll definitely do Witch Watch at some point.
This was on my list of series that if I had to pick, yes, I would like to come on and do an episode for. So I'm glad we're doing that.
Fantastic. And Jacob?
I know I've seen the cover and banner for Witch Watch a couple of times on the Shonen Jump app. I couldn't agree with you more, Colton. There's a lot of things I wish I was more up to date on. Yeah. Kaiju number 8 is one of the series that I've been able to, for the most part, keep up with. I say that I've fallen behind again recently, but I'm hoping to catch up. But I'd seen Witch Watch. It looked cute, but there's just so much stuff out there.
Look, man, there's too much to keep up with. Like it's impossible.
Yeah, it really is.
If Jacob isn't reading the Ghost Shiba Inu manga, he's not reading this.
Oh yeah, there's the Ghost Shiba Inu manga. Oh, I need to read more of that.
It's okay. I'm still sitting like 4 chapters behind on the Martial King, which is something I've told everybody repeatedly is amazing. So I'll get around
That's
to it.
another one. Gosh, there's so much to read.
There is always more content.
It just never stops.
And, it gives us plenty to talk about. And we open up our tale here with a young girl leaving a village. Her mother stops her to give her a lucky charm bell to wear around her neck. And she sets off to, we learn to go back to the big city. Before she actually arrives, though, we're introduced to our main, focus character, sort of our perspective guy, Morihito Otogi, a very, serious and stern high schooler who very deftly turns aside some bullies, avoids getting beaten up, and makes puns on all their names.
Yeah, I will say I greatly appreciate editorial notes in the margins of all of the mythological references, because they do that a lot in this, and not just mythological references, but just really well known and easy to understand and catch quickly in Japanese culture, but for us gaijins is not necessarily something we'll be up on. I think the Momotaro fable is the only one that I had actually known about in advance, and even then I didn't really catch that it was supposed to be a reference to that until it was explained.
The bullies that he stands up to, I think it's mentioned that they're picking on a kid from Ryugu Town, which is just a reference to a whole other fairy tale that we don't even have time to get into.
Yeah,
it's a good sampler to get you the idea of the tone of this manga going forward. Extremely stone-faced straight man versus a world of wordplay and weirdos.
Oh yeah, that's what Shinohara's best at, honestly.
Yeah, I dig it. I really like Otogi as a character. I enjoy a good, weirdo straight man combination. And this guy is about as straight-laced as it gets. He dodges all of their attacks. They tell him to hold still, damn it! So he does.
And he gets punched a couple of times.
He just freezes and gets whacked in the face.
But he could have beaten him if he really wanted to. That's important.
It's very clear from the way that he interacted with them all the way down that he was choosing to turn the other cheek. And the very next scene is his dad kind of not quite scolding him about it, but it's all fine and good that you're not lording your power over those weaker than you, but don't be an actual doormat.
Yeah, you gotta use your power a little bit.
Yeah, dad trying to tread the fine line of complimenting the virtue while being don't get yourself just walloped. That's lame, and it's just gonna get you hurt. While they're having this conversation over dinner, he mentions that a old friend of his from childhood, Nico, is going to be returning to town, and another just brilliant little taste of what's to come. A quick half a page of flashback panels of a small Otogi in just cartoon shenanigans.
Various states of extreme distress.
As Nico is... She sure is.
Causing all of it.
She is very much. But after having gone off to do her witch training, she's returning to town and to continue, living amongst humans, and she needs a familiar. So Otogi's going to be her familiar. He takes exception to this.
Well, because familiars are supposed to be animals. Until they're not.
He's kind of an animal,
yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, we get some world building about how witches can get powerful enough that animal familiars will take on a humanoid form, and that ultimately resulted in ogres, and we later find out Tengu.
It resulted in ogres because, well, what else are you going to do when your familiar attains a human shape, and the ox and the tiger familiar bloodlines merged enough over time to make the ogres. Big, tough, horned fellas. So technically, this is like just the family business. And so long as he maintains the contract, he won't turn into a Full Metal Alchemist horror monster.
I do like how the dad acknowledges explicitly that it's like, yeah, normally this doesn't happen, but we need the plot, so you're dealing with this.
I do appreciate that they do acknowledge, like, that's kind of weird, right? Yeah, but plot. We got to keep the story going.
So we're just bringing back feudalism just for me? Huh? That's what we're doing? Yes.
I also really enjoy the dad's drawing of what an ox/tiger would like, and I like that he makes him say, "Please kill me."
Please kill me.
It looks to be a very miserable creature.
There is part of me that kind of wonders, given the personality of the dad and what we see of Nico's mom, how much all of this is a bluff. Because that seems like something they'd do to him.
Good question.
It does kind of feel like we want to ship our kids, but how do we but we need an excuse for that. Well,
if it's that, they went really aggressive with it really fast.
Because Nico is returning to town, she needs a familiar, and Otogi's going to become her familiar. Both because they are childhood friends, also because Dad is going on an overseas trip, so he's not available for it. And thirdly, because Nico's mother, her specialty in magic is prophecy, and she's prophesied that some great disaster will befall her child. So they need a big, strong, tough guardian to keep her safe from herself, and also various other dangers, but mostly herself.
Yeah, and that's why our two kids now have to live together.
Yes.
Of course.
I like how Nico isn't portrayed as wanting a familiar relationship in any way. She just seems to have signed on to this because it's like, oh, cool, built-in boyfriend.
She is thirsty. This girl is parched.
That was... As I was reading it, because I started reading a little bit ahead of Sam, I just messaged Sam and I said, this is one of the thirstiest main characters that we've gotten in a while.
As she's flying back to town on her magic broom, she is fantasizing about them meeting beneath a blossoming cherry tree and blushing and holding hands as they recognize each other. It gets her so flustered she loses control of the broom and crashes through the window of Otogi's house.
It's quite the entrance, to say the least.
There's a metaphor in here, and it's not subtle.
I also like how it's established that she had trouble pronouncing Morhito's name, and it's written in a way that must be pronounced Moi. But I could not stop reading it every single time in just the full Miss Piggy voice of Moi.
I mean,
you know what?
Oh,
it's like it's a Japanese name, so I got Moi, but now that you say that, I can't unhear it, and it makes it better.
Morhito.
Oh god, that's her person.
Oh.
It works on so many levels.
But yeah, we get a little scene of their dynamic, and also how their dynamic is going to change from their childhood experience to their current experience, because now Nico has magic powers, and this is probably not a good thing.
And probably much more concerningly, Moi is hot. And she doesn't know how to process this. Because she goes from like, yes, we're going to have a nice summer romance to, we're alone in his house. I guess we could bone. That is a thing I am ready to do.
Man, I really hope that happens.
We are alone in his house, and he is smoking.
He's had a real glow up.
We get the introduction to our, story formula going forward. Nico breaks something, Nico offers to use magic to fix it, the magic has a horrible side effect.
Well, there's actually an important step in there as well. Nico breaks something, offers to fix it with magic. Moi says no, that's a bad idea, and then Nico fixes it with magic anyway, and there's a horrible side effect. Because Moi is genre savvy enough to know this is a bad idea and we shouldn't do it.
No. See, it's fine. I can repair the glass. I just need something to use as a material component in the spell. Do you have an item that you're really fond of? Oh, your favorite mug? Perfect. Now, watch this. Witch recovery! See, the glass is perfectly fine. What was that noise? The mug being sacrificed. You didn't clarify that!
There is also the element I like of this of, Moi, why do you think she asked for something that was precious to you? As genre savvy as he is, there are cases where he will just, be blind to the obvious and let something happen he really shouldn't. And that is also a source of comedy.
That is pretty good.
I just love that this establishes a universe that, they keep warning us that witches have a tendency to go evil when they're not constantly filled with stimuli. And, when your magic is powered by the destruction of loved objects, maybe, just maybe, a little evil.
Yeah, feels like we already kind of have a path laid set in stone for you.
Yeah, much like cats and small children, without enough attention, they will break things. And so part of why she was sent back to the big city was so she could practice using her magic in helpful ways for the good of her fellow man. And
she really wants to prove herself, so she decides to turn herself into paper. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, I'm not
the weirdest Paper Mario spinoff I've ever seen.
I'm not entirely sure where she was going with this, but again, yeah, like you said, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, this can't possibly break anything, and I just need to show off how cool I am. Oh crap, he opened the window. Whoosh!
I just love how, I love that she takes the time to describe, how it feels to be a flat human-sized piece of paper and how awful of an existence it is, because it just really paints a picture of how man, you would think being a flat Paper Mario character would be fun, but no, from how she makes it sounds awful. Everything's wibbly wobbly.
I'm getting motion sick from flapping so much.
Oh God, my organs are folding on themselves.
This is constant pain.
Out confetti. So anyway, she gets stuck between two walls because obviously, so she can't transform back, but she's got a familiar who's an ogre.
Yes.
He's got personal trauma.
Yep, because one of the bullies runs into him again and is, just continuing to give him a hard time. And he's like, listen, I don't care about you and your bully behavior. Get me, a vacuum or a grabber or something I can get something out of this crack in the wall. No. Well, all right then. I guess it's time to just use my super strength. You better duck.
Time to get over all my trauma over violence and start using violence.
Mm-hmm. The stakes of the series thus far are not that high, though it has it will later on lay the foundation for it to get a bit more exciting. But right now it is because we call them bullies. Moi doesn't really care about them. Even when they're beating him up, it's he's letting it happen. So.
Yeah, I mean that being said, I do like the stakes of this particular chapter where it's not just Nico gets stuck in a crack in the wall. Specifically I guess the spell is supposed to wear off, but the problem is she's in a crack in the wall, and if it wears off while she's still in there, she's gonna be flattened for real and be dead. So I like even though the bully guy really doesn't he doesn't stand any physical threat against Morihito, he's still an obstacle. Like there's still like a ticking time bomb in the way, you know. So I think the stakes work well in that regard, at least.
It's one of those series that like it's doing intentionally low stakes because that's the tone it's going for, and it is able to make things exciting enough that, like, you know, it's a page turn. You want to see how they get out of this most recent ridiculous shenanigan, because, you know, you don't want like actual serious consequences to come due. But it's not like, you know, it's not like a, you know, War and Peace or anything. Like,
yeah,
it's fluffy and fun, with just enough of an edge to keep you engaged.
No, for sure. And as somebody who has read a lot of Shinohara's other works, I could tell you that he is a master of doing mostly low stakes stories with the occasional burst of, oh man, it's going to get serious for at least like the next 8 to 10 chapters or so. We're in an arc now. It's sort of the, I mean, he kind of learned the best, you know, considering he used to work with Sorachi on Gintama. So
yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, that,
in all honesty,
that's sort of like slice of life kind of. It makes me think of like Cardcaptor Sakura, like the magical girl pacing of like, here's your weekly scenario, and now here's one that's going to take a couple of chapters.
Yeah,
and in all honesty, that's honestly kind of the perfect like pace and structure for a magazine like Shonen Jump, because, you know, you can run that for a very long time, but, you know, it has that like plot hook to keep readers engaged with it, you know, consistently for however long it runs for.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I love hearing about a series like, you know, like this, or something like Gintama, like I mentioned earlier, where it's like, you know, well, for like a couple months or a year or whatever, they'll just be doing the goofiest shit, and then every once in a while, like the biggest, most important things will be happening as far as like the plot goes, and then you'll like randomly hear about it online. You'll be like, oh man, should I get on this? I hear this is actually pretty cool, actually. Like it is kind of perfect in that sense.
Yes, a reason to catch up. It's the new patch just dropped for a game you haven't played in a year.
Yeah.
Mentality. But using his ogre martial arts, he punches a massive hole in the wall, gets Nico out just in time for her to become 3D again. And how are we going to fix this wall? Well, this guy really really values his hair. Cool, we have karmic justice on the bully. He's a chrome dome now. Honestly, I think he pulls it off. He looks like one of the cue balls from Pokemon Gen 1.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, I
if he was rounder.
But yeah, our dynamic is thoroughly established. We have the happy-go-lucky witch who gets herself into trouble, and her stoic ogre bodyguard who desperately tries to make that not happen and then clean up the subsequent mess. I really liked this next chapter for the unintended side effects of the magic. They also briefly do this thing where they have like Nico doing like a monologue or like a soliloquy as if she's doing an interview.
Yeah, it's like one of those like confessional booths in a reality show.
Yeah, or like The Office or something.
Exactly.
This is 100% happening entirely in her head.
She's 100% daydreaming that she's being interviewed about the like love reality show she's on, because it's even titled A Witch in Love.
Yeah.
You know, but before we got that reveal that it was all in her head, I did kind of think for a sec like, oh, she's definitely filming this somehow. That would have been even funnier to me.
Oh, she's doing it as like a vlog.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, clearly that's not the case later.
Well, she still might be filming it.
Yeah, she would do that.
She would.
The other thing, and she tries this more than once. She'll go downstairs in the morning in her PJs, and it's like, morning boy, do you notice anything? Go get dressed. Go get dressed, Nico.
But I'm being so seductive. No.
She's so thirsty.
But I'm a girl in pajamas in your house. Say something.
How are we not already, like, mid-act?
I just love the entire concept of let's have Moy. Let's put him in what is essentially supposed to be like a rom-com premise. And then let's just make him such a ridiculous straight man that he loops around to being Ace.
I mean,
it is.
You know what? You're right.
It is pretty great how he just kind of sells literally everything that comes along his way.
Yeah,
hard as a rock.
It's fun because it's like, you know, he can physically handle it. So like, whilst like a lot of the times when he gets like nervous, when he like gets energy to him, it's when, you know, there's a situation he can't punch his way out of.
Mm-hmm. Nico wants him to physically handle it.
And so like for any other case where it's just, you know, like a domestic situation like that, it's like, nothing currently is going wrong. I am going to just accept things as they are right now. I'm just going to enjoy my coffee.
Indeed. Reading this made me want like an extra pot of coffee. It just make it look really, really relaxing. But they go on a shopping trip. She is in full newlywed mode, buying all sorts of things for our new house together. I already have most of this. It's all perfectly functional. There's no need to replace it.
Oh, Moy, you don't understand. All of your things are being thrown away.
This is her house now.
Indeed.
He even calls her out on the "we're not newlyweds, stop it." And she proceeds to ignore him because of course she does.
Well, she ignores him right up until he complains that even for his supernatural strength, the bags are getting too heavy. So she casts a spell on them to make them super light. Light as a feather.
They do like a double twist with the negative aspect of this episode, because it's like, okay, something bad has to happen with this. Because, like, even Moy is like, oh, wow, this is actually really light.
Super handy. It's almost like there could be no negative consequences. If only there was some way we could demonstrate a way that this would go wrong. Oh, crap, a fire! And it's at, like, the top of a department store, so it's extremely high up. Thankfully, there is precisely one person who has not evacuated this whole building, and so our heroes can hop onto her witch's broom and fly up to catch her, catch this civilian. Unfortunately, the broom can only support 3 people at a time, so Moy makes the bright idea to have the superlight spell cast on him. It works. The broom can continue on just fine now. This also has the side effect of lightening everything about Moy, including his extremely stoic personality.
Yeah, this was pretty good too. I loved this.
Him becoming like a ditzy boy for a half a chapter was pretty great.
And like the best part is, not only does so it's like, this is magic being cast on Moy, so like he's not putting this on. This is like him acting authentically, but he gets called out for acting how he thinks someone light would be. Like, he can't, like, even when he is magicked into actually being a flighty person, he's still not good at it because he's that much of a straight-laced guy.
My favorite part was when they land and rescue this lady. Apparently, Nico was then just like, yo, I'm all about this. I'm taking a hit myself. And then cast it on herself as well. So they could just both be lightheaded together.
Oh, man.
Because they're degenerates.
And so they are both giggly, ditzy, and way too animated to focus on what this lady is saying, namely such important things as, where did you take me? How am I going to get home? How did we fly?
Yeah, I love that there is a point where this lady, I think it's when Nico is like, oh man, when I cast a spell, this happened, and then she's like, spells? What the fuck are you talking about? What's going on?
Yeah,
because magic seems to be something that people are aware exists, but it's extremely rare in like mundane society.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you know that witches and magical things are real, but you never expect to see one.
Yeah,
because there's like there's like one small village of witches in all Japan.
I think so, yeah.
So they get their super light bags, they head home, and suddenly right as they're getting home, the bags, they feel heavier than ever. Are they just exhausted? What could be happening? All right, the side effect of this spell. When it ends, the target gets extremely heavy. Wait, what do you mean the target gets... Didn't you target us with boom as they're both dropped to their knees?
What is even the point of all of this?
Look, I'd really...
Literal...
I know this sounds needy, but I just really want you to respond to my text messages. Don't leave me on red. Like, I just... Please don't. I don't like it. It's not respectful to me. Just, please.
It's not respectful, and I'm your bodyguard, so like, I need to make sure you're okay. And I just don't know why everyone doubts me so much. I feel like I've got nowhere that I can belong.
Thanks to the power of magic, these two two panels become a collection of red flags.
As much as I hate to admit it, the whole being left on red thing, I've definitely had times in my life where I definitely cared way too much about that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do kind of like this because it's one of those things where it's like, Moy is genuinely, like, even at his worst, not like this normally, but this is like an extreme version of character traits he has. Yeah. So it's like, this is sort of like showing, like, this is the outer limit of how bad Moy could get under the right circumstances, you know, through the vehicle of magic.
Yeah, for sure. This did really remind me of I don't know if you guys got this far in One Piece or not, but it really reminds me of like when the Straw Hat Crew and Thriller Bark get hit with the negative ghosts and they just want to stop living.
I haven't read / watched that like personally, but I have seen it talked about. Yeah.
Thriller Bark, I think, I don't know, this might be controversial. I think might be the funniest arc in One Piece. Prove me wrong.
No, easily. Davy Backfight is pretty funny.
Davy Backfight is funny, but I do think
that's the one that introduces the skeleton, right?
Yeah, that's Thriller Bark.
Yep, Thriller Bark.
Yeah, I do think Davy Back is funny, but I also think that Thriller Bark, in terms of like the quantity of really funny jokes, I think has it in spades. But that's just me.
So Thriller Bark has my favorite One Piece joke, which is very out of character for One Piece. Like, a zombie just comes out of, and it's like played very seriously, of like, oh my god, the dead are rising. And then there's just a deadpan Luffy who just slowly walks up and pushes the zombie back underneath the ground without saying anything.
Just nope.
Nope, not dealing with that.
It's really hard to argue that isn't the funniest moment in all 1100 chapters of One Piece, honestly.
It's extremely good.
It's extremely funny. But anyway, next chapter.
Yeah, returning to the comedy that we are already reading, it's the first day of school.
Well, you say the comedy we're already reading. This chapter is basically, I forget the name of, like, My Neighbor manga, but it's like the one guy who sits next to the very normal chick who's constantly doing weird things at his desk.
Oh, that's been on my read list for a long time, and I still need to get to it.
That's another one where I've seen clip shows of it on YouTube, but not like a full episode.
Yeah, same.
There's an entire genre of this where it's the two seats in the back and it's a guy and a girl and weird stuff is just happening. And that's what this chapter is.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I'd say long suffering, but a lot of the teacher's problems are self-inflicted. We're gonna have to be honest.
I am mixed on my feelings about the teacher.
I love Miss Makuwa. Makuwa? Yeah. Mainly, because I was expecting her just to be like a normal kind of like, oh, I'm the standard teacher. I'm going to be reacting to this in such a weird way. And then she does like 4 just strict Hunter x Hunter references in a row. She doesn't switch to a different thing. She just keeps drilling deeper and deeper. It's just like, no, he's exactly like God Freesis. What is going on? Did he sacrifice both his time and use vows to unlock his full-grown potential? I am not a strong enough teacher to face such might.
Yeah, not only a Hunter x Hunter reference, but a reference to the Chimera Ants arc. That's how you know Shinohara is the best mangaka working right now.
I do like the gimmick where the teacher's just a massive otaku, trying to hide behind a professional veneer. Entirely subjective. I felt that like the just rapid fire. It's like this other manga got a little tiresome for me, but that, again, entirely subjective. Her gimmick overall is very funny. And a chapter focusing on her later is, mwah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she lays it on thick as a character, and like, you know, if you don't sometimes like if you don't know, like, I don't know Hunter x Hunter that well. I've not like really immersed myself in it meaningfully, so it's like I got that they were Hunter x Hunter references, but I didn't really like get them.
Oh man.
So it's like I was following, it was funny, but it didn't like hit me the same way. But yeah.
So two quicks, real thing. One, guys, if you guys ever do Hunter x Hunter, I would like to be on for at least one episode of that. Two, I would genuinely love to know what Jacob thinks about Hunter x Hunter if you guys ever do an episode. I think that would generate a lot of really good discussion.
You know what?
So I'll tell you the problem with Hunter. The problem with Hunter x Hunter is the first arc is like 45 chapters.
That's entirely fair. We could figure out a way to break it up.
You could cut the exam in half, honestly. It doesn't matter, but...
Well, we'll do a part 1 and a part 2. It's not like we, when presented with a daunting chapter count, we haven't done that before.
Cough, cough, One Piece, cough, cough.
We'll figure it out.
Cough, cough.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Upcoming Infinity War. How the hell are we going to do that? Infinity War. God damn it.
The Infinity Castle.
No, we're on a recorded media. I can correct this joke. Cough, cough, Infinity Castle. There we go. No one will know my mistake.
Hey, why is the Avengers theme playing in the background?
I did like that. Because the inciting incident here is that Boy is very diligently taking notes, and the eraser breaks off of his pencil. So Nico's like, I know, there's just enough eraser on there that if I cast an embiggen spell on it, it'll grow the eraser and fix his problems. Now, all I need to do is very precisely point at this one target and embiggen. Oh, I hit a strand of his hair on the top of his head. Quick, if I hit it again, then nobody will notice anything's wrong. Embiggen! Oh, I turned on big head mode.
and then
it
she just
is
keeps
just big head mode.
And then she just keeps missing. Like that.
That's the entire gimmick of the rest of the chapter. The other thing that's kind of important about this chapter is it, like, the setup for like this entire thing is the two of them are having a bit of a tiff because Moi doesn't want Nico to reveal to everyone that she's a witch, and Nico doesn't understand why, and then proceeds to prove why she shouldn't, reveal that she's a witch.
Yeah.
And then we find out at the beginning of the next chapter that Moi was wrong because the teacher was just told she's a witch and announces it. Like,
oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, we have a witch in the class. You kind of all have figured that out when she turned herself gigantic by accident.
Yeah, I guess if there's like one thing I'm not entirely clear about, and again, I'm not caught up, so maybe this is maybe they tackle this in a later in the series. I feel like I don't have a sense of like, because like we were saying, like Morihito is constantly like, look, man, we can't let people know you're a witch because like somebody might come after you and steal you for like, I don't know, witch testing or something. I don't know, something you could get kidnapped by like the worst people or like something could happen to you if this gets out. But then like we get to a point, especially later on, where it's like, oh no, like the rest of the class is like pretty on board with this and nobody really seems to have a problem with it. I mean, we were kind of talking about it earlier, but it is kind of hard to really assess, like, I guess, how big of a deal Magic users existing in this world is, I guess.
Yeah. It's got a very loose relationship with the concept of the masquerade. Primarily, it's like Moy is being paranoid because he knows about the prophecy, so it's like, we can't give people any more reasons to come after her. Or attract any more danger, when it seems like the way that magic works is that witches are fairly open about it, and if you happen to be around one to know about it, as long as they've got a buddy who can make sure that everything's above board, like say a super powerful martial arts trained ogre
boy. Yeah, I think part of the element of it is Nico is way too like loose with not just using her magic, but using her magic in extravagant way. Because like she's not just like, she's had a couple of scenes where it's like, oh, I want to increase the joy in the world with my magic, and that's a legitimately endearing and admirable goal. She doesn't just do that though. She's also a showboat. She also she is inclined to go too far, whereas Moy, he comes off not simply as, you know, like the straight man in the bodyguard, but he does actually come off at times as outright paranoid. And the two of them, like, you know, there's that sort of element of opposites attracting where they balance each other out.
Yeah.
And make for a good couple in that way, because, you know, Moy can bring Nico down from 11 all the way, you know, to 8 or 9 where she should be, and Nico is the free spirit that Moy needs to, you know, get out of his own head and be happy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think there is a level of they happen to be in the class with all the weirdos, so that's part of the reason why everyone's okay with it, because when they it's not the next chapter, I think it's the one after that, but when they decide to go flying, people do react to that in a way that you would kind of expect.
That's also fair, yeah.
So, like, magic is, yeah, like, this has been entirely laser focused on the characters to the, frankly, exclusion of the world building.
That's fair.
And just with the kind of story this is, it's gonna get to it at some point, and that's when, like, the plot is gonna come in and you know, take us for a ride.
Yeah, like again, if you've read, like, you know, Astro Lost in Space, like Shinohara himself, I think, is very good at world building when he wants to focus on that. But like you said, this is the kind of series where, yeah, that feels almost sort of secondary to non-existent at this point, but knowing him and like how he works, I'm fairly certain that like we'll have a better sense of the world in terms of that kind of stuff much later on.
Mm-hmm.
But now we get to the part where Nico accidentally makes herself big.
Oh, that's a really funny chapter ender.
She's too big.
All I want to do is see you turn into a giant woman.
A giant woman.
Oh, God. Oh. So anyway,
yeah, this is one of the this next chapter is one of the ones that sort of like illustrates the idea of the beginning half of it is like kind of focusing on Moy's character and how he's like, oh man, Nico's not gonna make any friends. She's gonna, you know, she's gonna have trouble adjusting to normal school life, and then she just kind of goes up to him and it's like, hey, I made 2 friends. I'm gonna go out with them.
What? Oh, okay.
Oh.
I love her friends because the one who looks like they're the main character is a side character in most of her reading. and the one who looks very generic gets her own chapter later.
Yeah, I like them. They're pretty cool. When they go to the restaurant after school, they have some upperclassmen start harassing them like, hey, cuties, you want to go on a date with us? And then one of them steps forward and says, hey, can I get all your names? Sure, we'll introduce ourselves. Cool, I've been recording the entire time. You all are perverts. Get out of here.
Get out of here before I cancel you.
I mean, essentially, yeah.
Yeah. She just...
And she is just, like, absolutely vicious with them.
It is pretty cool.
She is... It's extremely cool, but she is extremely embarrassed by it because she wants to be, you know, more traditional.
She wants a boyfriend.
She wants a boyfriend, so she can't... So she doesn't like the fact that she's so harsh with guys. And she wants to be more, like, traditionally feminine. So when the others are complimenting her on, yeah, it was so cool and assertive and powerful of you. No.
Yeah, girl boss. I don't want to be girl boss.
In all fairness, this was entirely justified, though, so I don't know.
Yeah, like, the reason why her friends are complimenting her is because these three jackasses don't deserve the time of day from them.
No, not at all.
But she's not exactly I mean, she's a teenager. She's not exactly thinking clearly about
Yeah.
She just wants a boyfriend, guys.
She just wants
a boyfriend. If only there was some kind of new stoic guy who's completely hot. Oh, hey, Nico, do you happen to know this guy? Nico, do you want me to throw doubt on why I invited you out to go to this restaurant completely?
Well, we get the friends are Kara, the assertive girl, and then Ku, the quieter girl, the more generic appearing one. We get a quick flashback of how they met, where Kara, you know, sees that Ku is, you know, ostracized. People think she's weird and quiet and don't want to talk with her. And she's like, that's stupid. I'm going to go make friends with the quiet girl because I'm friendly and outgoing and people deserve a chance. And she basically repeated the same thing with Nico.
One thing I really like about that scene is that, like, at first, like, she's really harsh with the girl she had been previously talking to, but by the end of the scene, she turns around and it's like, you're coming along with the invite too, right? Like, I really like her. Like, she does not realize how, like, good and cool she is.
Chaotic, good, mean girl.
I think
I love her.
I think she is aware. She just thinks it's a little cringy. She wants to be a different person is the problem. Like, the her in her head is not how she acts.
Yeah.
And that causes her discomfort.
You know, if for no other reason, I would be interested in reading more to see if she gets a character arc addressing that. But
I mean, there's plenty of room for that.
Indeed.
She's got the character design of being like a rival witch. So
yeah, she looks like she should be like the best friend character in any other series, honestly.
She looks like an AU of one of the girls from Witch Hat Atelier.
Okay, I can see that.
A little bit.
But
I mean, if she gets powers later on and ends up being like the friendly rival, like that trope, that would fit her so well.
Yeah.
So yeah, she does a deep dive on, hey, you know that guy's name? You know that guy's, Moy? Oh, nice name. Is that a nickname? Ooh. First name basis with the new guy. That is cool. Are you like, are you dating? No, you're not dating. Yes, I've got a shot. And then Nico just crushes this poor girl's hopes and dreams by like, we're actually living together.
Your childhood friends and you're living together? No! I wanted the brooding guy.
I love that it looks like just Nico's personality and how this is paneled. She did this on purpose. Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
This was a power play.
Which is funny because like Kara is like, the way that she's reacting to all like the like childhood friend stuff and the cute nickname stuff, like she seems simultaneously like, I've still got a shot, but also like is kind of into the idea of the childhood friend. Like she doesn't seem like disappointed about the childhood friends trope. She seems like into it.
She also seems weirdly
like,
into be like, ooh, love rival? I'm game, maybe. That could be a role for me in this story.
You know what? 100% that is what's going through her head right now.
But Nico does not want the competition, so she begins downselling Moy really hard, saying how he's unreliable, useless in a fight, selfish and pushy, extremely uncool. All cut to him jumping Batman style off the roof and beating up the creepy upperclassmen because he overheard them going, "Yeah, we'll show those stuck-up girls. We're gonna sexually assault them."
God.
Yeah, it does really just do the classic manga of like, let's just really go over the hill with these guys.
Yeah, let's make them strip and we'll film it. That'll show them.
Yeah, that was a proportional reaction.
Manga, please, you don't have to make all of the random NPCs this evil.
They couldn't.
You can tone it down slightly.
That'll show them for Me Tooing me.
Oh god, they are just incels.
So yeah, you don't feel bad when Moy absolutely mops the floor with them.
It is pretty good.
It's good action panels. Very wire fu looking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Batman. It does kind of have that sort of... It's a little bit more kung fu than that, but...
it has that same energy.
Particularly, like he has like a high kick that I think is a Wing Chun kick, but... also, there's a bit at the end where apparently he overheard Nico
roasting him,
bad-mouthing him. Yeah, girls can be so harsh.
Then up next we have the chapter we alluded to earlier, where so apparently the first day of school, all they did was like introductions, I guess, because the second day of school is icebreakers. They are learning nothing at this school.
Well, how can we learn at school if we don't learn about each other?
You could have done that the first day.
No, we only had 15 minutes for introductions on day one because we needed to montage the entire welcoming ceremony.
Yeah, and 10 minutes of that was taken up by Embiggen.
Oh, but yeah, they set some cones up, and Nico reveals that within these cones, even like regular people can fly.
Yeah.
And they do a whole bunch of flying jokes. It's pretty funny.
It's a good time.
Everybody has like a different opinion on flight.
Some of them are a little low to the ground because they want to, be careful or whatever. Some of them just get right into the action. Some of them just kind of lay about and relax. Some of them pretend they're in Dragon Ball, which that would be me.
Yeah, tag your...
Same.
Tag yourself. I'm the guys who are zipping around like Superman. And then they all turn into a shoal of fish. Which, that's a hell of a panel. I love it.
Oh, man.
This class is really up for anything. I also like the teacher is like, I want to play Dragon Ball too. In all honesty, I think that would be me.
That would be me too, honestly.
Even more so than the ones actually doing it.
Yeah, I could see myself going that route too. I would either like get right into it or I'd be like too embarrassed. I'd just be like, oh man, I kind of want to, but should I? No, I shouldn't, but I really want to.
I like the dude in the back who's doing the Piccolo arms folded fly.
Oh, I didn't even see that. That's great.
My favorite is the guy on the sidelines who's refusing to participate because he's a contrarian. And then also the super contrarian who didn't even bother to put on his gym clothes.
Like, honestly, I think the funniest jokes for this are the ones who don't participate.
The other classes are like, man, we're stuck playing Fruits Basket. Look at them, they're flying. I wish we had a witch in our class.
Man, why can't we?
You should have rolled better on your homeroom.
You should have done less well in school. You should have been in class 1-3. Look at you succeeding and getting placed in higher classes. Shouldn't have done that.
You need to be mediocre. That way you get into the class with the interesting people.
What good is academics if you don't have magic in your life?
Oh, words to live by.
Given everything that manga has taught me, being in like class 2 is the worst because you don't have any of the like Kagura-sama weirdos in class 1, nor any of the shonen pro tags in the lower classes. You're just, by coming in second place, you are the most boring.
Uh-huh.
You are an NPC.
Yep.
You're not even allowed to do superhero training.
But Moy needs to have a cool action moment that also blows his cover as a supernatural creature. So when a delivery truck going through the sports field happens to drive over the flying field and gets flung up into the air, it's Moy who jumps in and catches the falling truck Superman style.
Yeah, he'd been having like a little bit of a mini arc of, because I'm so freakishly strong, people don't want to interact with me. We didn't mention it, but there was a whole thing in his backstory with the bully where he did actually punch back once and put him in the hospital.
Yeah, like literally broke his whole arm.
And then that made the bullying worse because every one of the bullies knew that he was a goody two-shoes, got a talking to from his parents, and would never fight back again. So they just used that as an excuse to beat on him more.
Yeah, that's really sad. I do genuinely like I do love the kind of small growth that Morihito goes through in kind of in the beginning, where he's kind of slowly learning how to like feel more comfortable with him being an Oni and him, you know, using his powers and not having to hold back because of that.
Yeah, because it's like he's got the discipline to like he's got the discipline and the good strength, good judgment to use his powers with restraint, but he's also had this formative experience, and he's also having to manage this incredibly chaotic person in his life. But like, you know, mentioning that's also kind of the thing that helps him move forward, not just Nico, but also the class being accepting of him.
The class is insanely accepting. It's amazing because he's just like, they'll never accept me, but I must take responsibility for what I am. And Nico, power to her, really does go, no, actually, I used magic to make him super strong. He's like, quiet. I'm gonna handle this. I'm an ogre. And then the entire class is literally just like, that's really cool, man, but like, there's a witch here, so that makes sense. Like, our entire worldview has completely changed over the past 2 days. So
we'd honestly be more surprised if you were normal, considering how close you seem to be with her.
I like
weird.
I like that one of them was like, dude, that's cool, but I literally just flew like 5 minutes ago.
That guy's me.
You being an ogre is the most normal thing that's happened today. I also, just because this is lived rent-free in my head, Moy has, like complained in passing a little bit about how Nico has been attracting everybody. I just attract weirdos, because some of his classmates have been asking, hey, could you ask Nico to, you know, do this magic thing or that magic thing? Hey, could you ask Nico if she has a spell to switch my left and right eyes?
That's not even the weirdest one.
Oh, no.
One guy's like, hey, can you have Nico turn me into a chair and then swap me out with one of the chairs of one of the girls?
See, that's the thing. That second part of the request is why that didn't, like, it's like, oh, okay, that's what this is. Like, I understand that. My brain can comprehend that. Why do you want to switch your right and left eyes? What benefit does that have?
That's a very good question.
I don't know, I thought it'd be funny.
I just want to do it for the bit.
I just want to know if you can. I doubt your power. You turned that guy into a chair so that chicks would sit on his face. Why won't you switch my eyes?
My request is way less morally dubious, my guy.
Now, see, it's because he's nearsighted in only one eye. I don't know how switching your eyes is gonna fix that. It won't. I just think it's funny.
or maybe he just wants to be able to see out of the left side of his face for the first time.
My poor girl tries the morning PJ routine again, but our boy loves his coffee.
All I'm saying, whatever kind of coffee it is beautifully rendered. This whole first page just made me want to like go make a pot myself. Like, I could go for a coffee right now.
Man, yeah, I never wanted coffee this bad before.
Hey, listener at home, drive off this freeway, go get some coffee. Do it right now.
Yeah, go hit up a Starbucks.
You won't.
live your best life.
I don't care if there isn't an exit. Do it.
You won't be late. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You don't have a Starbucks. Get your nearest gas station coffee. It'll have to do.
It's always better than you think it's going to be, but just enough.
Just enough.
Don't have gas station coffee? Chug gasoline.
You could pretend it's coffee.
That'll keep you awake.
So we get into the gimmick of this chapter, which is Moi going like, just go get dressed already. It's not like it's difficult. You only have 3 outfits, which, dude, that is
not the thing to say.
That is a critical hit to deliver to a girl.
Yeah, she took that personally.
That panel of her shocked expression conveys more of a sense of horror and disdain than some horror manga we've read.
And then immediately it's like, should I go out and try to like update my fashion, spend the day trying to find a look that works for me, or should I just use magic? Nico decided to use magic.
And she uses a spell which lets her copy outfits out of other pieces of media, perfectly dressing herself in that item. Unfortunately, it only will copy the part of the outfit that is shown. And since this was a fashion magazine, it's only showing the front. So the back of her outfit, completely see-through, which feels like a 50s cartoon routine.
It's a very specific fetish, Sam, and I think you would know our motto by now.
Hey, I am not arguing. I'm not asking why.
See now, it's funny you mention old cartoons because something that people need to know about Shinohara is that he makes references to a lot of very like classic 80s gag manga type of stuff. Like this dude was pretty much inspired by Dr. Slump more than he was Dragon Ball. He's even said so himself. And I what was it? Nico, when she's looking in her mirror, she mentioned specifically like, oh, it's like Bimbo-chama from another cartoon. I think it's called what was it? Obachama-kun. So I decided to like look this up. I went down a fucking rabbit hole. Do you guys want to hear about this show? Because like I got to get this off my chest. This is now a Bolchama hour. So
go for it.
You know what? Yeah, speak your truth, man.
So apparently, first off, you could just watch like all 164 episodes of this on YouTube, like officially subbed. So in case anybody wants to go check it out, go ahead. I just decided to pick a random episode to find like the character she's referencing. The character of Bimbo-chama, I don't know if he's like a rival to the main character or something, but he's essentially like a poor kid whose joke is like when you see him from the front, he's wearing like a nice little suit or whatever. But then like there's nothing in the back because he's poor, and that's the joke. I've watched a whole episode where like he basically pulls like a Prince and the Pauper thing against Obol-chama, the little rich kid main character, and like they basically switch lives, and it's just like a whole thing. So much happens. I can't even get into it. It turns out that like Bimbo-chama, he has a mom, and his mom's a cyborg because I guess Obol-chama made him like a mom cyborg at some point, so that's a thing. And then Obol-chama, he has like his thing is he has like a horde of pet turtles that he like makes him that he uses as like transportation, and that's important because when Bimbo-chama gets in trouble at some point in the episode, by the way, Obol-chama, he talks about dicks like literally every 5th sentence. So there's that. So much so because I think, what was it, Beanbo Chama, he gets like caught in the swamp during the episode or something like, it's not important. What's important is that he helps him out by summoning his turtles to make like a bridge of turtles that extend from his crotch. This is a real thing that happens.
Master Roshi, eat your heart out.
I can literally see the red string on the board right now as you're going through this.
What's he? And see, here's the messed up thing too. The ending gag is a Bolchama creating another cyborg mom for Bean Bolchama because she broke, but he makes a bigger cyborg mom. So it also ends the same way that a previous chapter we just talked about the series did. So I'm just saying I'm ready to watch all 164 episodes of this and start my own Pepe Sylvia board.
I like that as you were going on that, I decided to Google this guy. And what came up was the Yokai Watch wiki. So apparently he is canonically a ghost in the Yokai Watch series.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I think I did see that link, but I didn't really pursue that any further.
What the
Are you looking at it right now?
I think I have seen this character referenced before.
This isn't a game for children.
That looks like a gag costume for Master Roshi.
Yeah, it's just judging from the single episode I watched today in order to like do research, I don't know if I'm mentally prepared to watch any more of it, but I feel like at some point I'm going to take the plunge because it is just all out there.
You need to in order to satisfy the madness.
I'm a sucker for old like late 80s gag manga anime, so like I can't not jump down this rabbit hole.
I look forward to the report from the abyss.
Anyway, Witch Watch.
Yeah, in Witch Watch, Nico really desperately wants to show off this outfit, but also I have to perfectly face him at 180 degrees, otherwise he will see my ass. This cannot be allowed to happen. Listen, I'm just gonna go get another cup of coffee. Sexual harassment! Where did you get a whistle? And what do you mean I just stood up? Don't question me! Why are you shuffling like that? Are you a crab?
Yeah, she keeps crab scooting around the living room, and Moy is just confused.
Listen, okay, you're trying to show off your fashion sense. I get it. It's nice. But honestly, just wear the things that make you comfortable. That makes you more attractive as like a complete person than any fancy outfit. Oh, that's so sweet and romantic. I'm going to go get changed right away, completely forgetting the ass showing part of the gimmick as she runs past him.
Canonically, he did not see anything.
Yep, because she yeeted a waste paper basket at his face faster than his corneas could process the information.
And then, because our girl just can't be heartbroken enough, she comes back out in her like normal outfit, and he just goes, "It's making my heart race. Wow. Can I get a closer look? Wow. Up close. It's just amazing." And he leans in closer and closer, and her heart is beating out of her chest. And then he goes like, "Some really nice material. Killing that look, girl."
Is that authentic? What?
What era is this from?
I am a fan of vintage women's clothing from the Victorian era.
We just found this man's hyperfixation. We found his special interest.
Old European fashion, and her like hand-me-down witch smock is an old like French peasant thing.
They don't make fabric like this anymore.
Wait, he's literally more interested in this than the fact that he could have seen my ass. I don't know how to feel about this.
I don't like that his response was, "Nah, I didn't see that butt, but I did see that fabulous stitch work on your dress."
Magnificent.
Not the hobby I want my future fiance to be super interested in, but I guess this is the life I'm living.
I have committed to this bit.
I'll have to make this work. Although I really may be barking up the wrong tree, and this is the first time I'm realizing it.
I'll take this over trains, I guess.
Every man has to make a point where he goes down one of three roads: either trains, weird obsession with some part of European history, or Warhammer minis.
Those are the only three paths.
And currently, all three of those are Sam.
Hey, wait a minute.
Look, that's okay. That's okay. Some people take all three at the same time.
You know,
I mean, have you seen those orc train models that take place in Victorian France?
I specced into it with the with the neurodivergence.
All the passengers in your train sets are wearing like vintage European clothes
while carrying bolters. Yes.
Sam, I'm gonna need a translation. I'm too neurotypical for whatever you just said.
Space shooty gun.
Oh, that is the dynamic of the podcast right there.
Anyway, Nico gets a special delivery. Her boxes and boxes of manga collection.
Oh boy.
Well, it's not all mine. Some of it's my mom's. Then why did she send it to you?
Oh man. Okay, so sorry.
Because her mom is just as much of a troll.
Sorry, I have to go through this. So she mentioned specifically she has all of Kochikabe, all of Gogo 13, and all of Oishinbo. I did do the math on this because these are all like over 100 volume long series. Kochikabe ran for about 201 volumes because it ran for 200, but it had like a special volume later. That's not really important. Gogo 13 still going, by the way, at 215 volumes. And Oishinbo currently at 111. So that is 527 volumes of manga that this woman now has. Just outside her house.
It's a literal ton of manga.
Yes, a literal ton. The only thing that's missing is maybe all of One Piece and JoJo.
And that's really cool. That's a lot of cool manga.
Yeah, I would love to read all that.
Can I point you instead to my hyperfixation, which is page 2. Nico's mom has got it going on.
She do.
She really do, though.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. That did take me a second. Like, what's this new hyperfixation?
Ooh, let's share hyperfixation. Oh no, he's just talking about finding women attractive.
He's just talking about MILFs. That's fine.
You know what? MILFs can be a hyperfixation.
They can. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, it's fine. I support it. Yeah.
I mean, look at that page too.
She's just in like casual athletic wear meditating.
She's doing her morning yoga routine,
building up her magical energy so that she can do a more complete prophecy about her daughter's catastrophic death or something.
But also an incredibly vague prophecy.
She's still working on it.
It is I think 3 words.
So far,
I love the beginning of next chapter, and we'll talk about that when it happens. But
so
it answered all the questions I had.
So far, she has learned that there is going to be some great catastrophe. It's going to cause. It's going to put her. It's going to put Nico in serious danger, and something about raindrops, dogs, and just a general sense of beware. So I put a magic seal on this ward, and when the magic seal burns off, that means you know that the catastrophe has occurred. So no matter what crazy bullshit happens, until this piece of paper is no longer magical, you know that it can always get worse. Take some reassurance in that, Morito.
Oh, good. Reassurance.
Well, now, while I'm frantically worrying about that, I hope just some stupid nonsense isn't going on. Oh, there's 4 of her now.
Well, the only way
there's 4 of her, and they're all tiny.
The only way I'm going to get all these boxes inside is if I have more help. Time to use the multiform technique. Doesn't that split your power? Oh, it also made her small.
She becomes childlike at first, but then she becomes progressively more chibi.
It is doubling the amount of U's, but it's also halving your strength, so it's still the strength of just 1 U. This isn't helping.
Yeah, so like, I mean, essentially she's still only carrying like 1 box at a time, which is great. Like they waste so much time with this. It's so good.
She's carrying 1 box, but now with more marching songs.
which makes it more fun and therefore better.
Two, 3, 4. Screw it, I'm doing it myself.
I like how they come up with like their little marching song and they do it and like they just get like nothing done and they just start staring at Morihito. It's great.
Because they're all the same person. They all decide they're going to be Hup too. So it's not... They don't count at all.
But yeah, I love how this entire thing is instigated by the letter mentions in passing, don't spoil her, put your foot down if you have to.
Be a father.
At which point, Moy immediately... He attempts to go full drill sergeant and fails immediately. I'm not helping you, no magic. At which point she just does magic anyway, and thus we get the splitting shenanigans.
We get the mini-me army.
And at the end of the day, nothing was accomplished.
Except he then left her out on the front porch and then went inside to go read the prophecy he'd gotten the entire time ago. He's like, wait a second, dogs? Huh. And then he hears barking outside as she's about to be mauled by what appears to be some kind of hunting dog.
Yeah, it's a pretty big dog for just suburban wherever they are.
Yeah, and somehow this dog just like got off his leash. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, because like, okay, here's the thing. There are a lot of cases where a dog will like run after a small child and the small child gets hurt, but it's usually because the dog wants to play and doesn't recognize that the child is, you know, small and fragile. No, this dog was going for the freaking kill.
Yeah. Because Boy jumps in the way and takes the bite on his arm. So, mini Nico number 4 there would have had her face torn off otherwise.
Yeah, like, dude, dog owner, you need to address this.
I think you need to tighten that collar, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I'm looking at the leash and collar, and it doesn't look like any part of it's broken. It might have just been too loose, which I don't know. Sure, I don't even get me started on living in a neighborhood where people just do not wash their dogs at all. I had to deal with that for 7 years before I moved into my recent new apartment. It was not fun.
Oh man, don't get me started on one of the guys in this neighborhood.
Yeah, I've got a person near me who's got the bad habit of just walking around with a leash, but their dog just walks around freely. Right. And they're like, I've got the leash. And I'm like, that's not the point of the leash, bud.
Yeah, you know what you're doing, all right? Come on.
That is the most pedantic bullshit. But, the old man is just like, oh, sorry, Sonny, he got off the leash. You are severely underestimating how dangerous that almost was. I will let it slide for now, but if you ever threaten her again... I really like the panel of him, like, hitting the nat 20 on his intimidate check.
Yeah, going demon mode.
He's got like the tiger and the bull behind him, and like the horns of spiritual energy radiating out of his forehead. It's menacing as hell. I love it.
It's very well rendered. I love it.
But that was not the dog that would bring danger in the prophecy. So what else could possibly happen? We'll have to keep an eye on her during rainy days. And on the forecast this week, weather will be worsening across all of Japan as the rainy season begins. Ah, damn it.
Ah, man. Get ready for more rain and more dogs.
As we zoom out on an ominous figure watching the house from on top a telephone pole.
Ooh. Extremely evil looking.
You know what? More rain, more dogs. I'm going to take this as a win. I like both of those things.
Yeah.
But this is about halfway through our reading, so we'll take a quick break, and we'll find out who that mysterious stranger on the light pole is when we get back.
Okay. Hey, sport. How's it going? I'm sure you've been noticed that we've been a little distant lately. We others wanted me to come in here and talk to you so that you're certain that it's not your fault. They were really clear that they wanted me to come in here and make you think that it wasn't your fault. And frankly, if you weren't around, maybe me and the other co-hosts could still be happy together. But
Matt, that's not quite the vibe we were going for, because this is an important change.
The point being, the show is going to be going to a different broadcast schedule. Every other Thursday, we will be uploading.
Also, you do get 2 Christmases.
And welcome back to the show, folks, where last we left our heroes. We had the beginnings of the next revelation to the prophecy that will change the overarching main plot, such as it is, for the rest of our reading. The prophecy has been updated. The dogs and raindrops are now omens of doom.
I just love how this answers the main question I had from the previous chapter of, man, why does her mom just her mom's like a famous oracle. Why are her prophecies just basically worthless? And then they show us how she does her prophecies, and it's just a book yelling numbers at her.
Yeah, I really like this just from like an aesthetic standpoint because the book is so creepy.
Yeah.
It's a book of poems, but it's got this like jagged, toothy maw. It cackles, and when she casts her prophecy spells on it, it starts spitting numbers which correlate to words in the book of poems that she can then piece together into the words of the prophecy.
Yeah, and she gets she only gets the prophecy like 3 words at a time, which is why it's like doom, dogs and raindrops are the only things that she's got so far. I also like how done she is with her evil book of poems. Yes, they're very scary. Anyway.
Please tell me how my daughter's gonna die.
It's like she's had this book her entire life. She's no longer weirded out by it.
Yeah. It's probably not her favorite book anymore after this, honestly.
Man, it is sad how sometimes, you go back to a childhood classic and you find it has a gaping maw of teeth that start shouting
if
numbers
Christopher
at
Robin started whispering prophecies of the end of days in my ears when I cracked open my old bookshelf, I did,
Someone didn't read the 4th Winnie the Pooh book.
It sounds like you're not up on your Pooh lore.
Apparently not.
Not touching that one.
So, it's a rainy day. We just need to watch out for rainy days. Keep away from dogs. It's fine. We know the prophecy. This is fine. This is going to be easy. I need sweet bean paste to restore my mana. We're going shopping. Damn it. Did it have to be today when it's raining? It's on sale. Saitama logic.
Yeah, we also get established Nico is not supposed to know that there is a prophecy of doom in as little details as possible because
it's one of the there's myriad of things that cause young witches to go evil.
It seemed,
and also just wanting her to have a normal time in the regular world, and also generates plot and drama.
Yeah, it seems like it's really easy for witches to become evil. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
I feel like this might come up
you
later.
never know.
It's mentioned that the reason her family is here is because they're the descendants of witches who immigrated to Japan while fleeing the Salem witch trials. So, with a historical, like, real-world context, it's like, oh, they were otherwise innocent people fleeing unjust persecution. Considering all the things about witches in this, I don't know. I don't want to say that the witch trials were right, but
considering all the damage objectively benign witch is doing, like,
by Sigmar.
Hashtag Salem did nothing wrong.
But they go about, they're doing their shopping. Moy is on the lookout, trying to keep an eye for everything. At one point, Kara walks by and is like, "Hey, quit hanging out with the hot boy and come shop with me." No, just leave. She's trying to subtly ward her off. It's like, quit trying to be subtle about telling me to leave you alone with the hot boy. Come shop at me. Will you stop being
Fine, if you're not going to shop with me. Hey, hot boy, come shop with me.
No.
Oh, God damn it. Hey, you over there. Oh, okay, I guess I'm going.
Oh, Moy.
I'll force someone else to be my friend for the day.
Oh, Moy, this isn't the way home. Oh, are we going somewhere secluded and romantic so you can confess to me?
You behind the pillar.
You suck at hiding. Get out here. Quit following us. And sure enough, it's a guy in a dog mask.
Oh, there's the dog.
This Hotline Miami wannabe walks out from behind a pillar.
It's so Hotline Miami. I was surprised he didn't pull out a baseball bat covered in brains.
He kind of almost does.
It's so
You
uncanny.
like hurting other people, don't you, Con?
God, it just reminds me of those horse masks that people used to wear for a while.
I remember those.
I'm just like staring at like the full body view of this guy in the dog mask, and I feel the need to look away, but I can't.
You know that, like, in motion, that head would be wobbling in just, like, the most awful way.
Yeah, for sure.
My favorite part about this is the mangaka could have easily gotten away with just only showing that mask from one angle, but we get so many dynamic shots of it for no reason.
Well, because we need to make it really clear exactly how creepy this frickin' thing is. As, well, we think it's creepy. Moy thinks it's creepy. Nico thinks it's cute because it's a mascot mask for one of her favorite anime. It's Wonderful. Who the heck is Wonderful? You weren't paying attention when I was telling you about it earlier.
No, I was not.
That tracks.
Quick, time to have a shonen action battle.
It's a pretty sick battle. Very ora.
I will say
Yeah.
the fights do get better. So
Yeah, this one is.
Yeah, this is very introductory fight. Like, it's not bad, but it's not like anything to write home about, but it's still kind of establishing
I don't want to say
itself.
perfunctory, that feels too mean, but it's here to establish, another member of the cast.
yeah, this isn't really like a full fight so much as it is like a short skirmish. Like it still looks like cool and dynamic, but I just as somebody who has read ahead and has read basically this whole first arc and knows where it's going, I'm just saying as somebody who's been keeping up with Shinohara's work for a while, like the dude in terms of his fight choreography really levels up, let's just say, throughout the entire run of this series. Like if you guys decide to pick up more of this, I can't wait to see what you think.
Yeah. It's good to hear that, because it's one of those ones where it's like, this is whetting your appetite for
sure,
what's
yeah.
going to come later, and hearing that, like, it pays off on that promise is good to know.
Yeah, and it looks like Moy has the upper hand. The dog-faced guy is extremely fast, but he's definitely stronger, so he should be able to win. When suddenly Dogface whips out a baton and uses it to summon a huge gale of wind that blows even Moy over, which, considering how tall he and muscled he is very impressive. He's got to be really heavy. That's a strong-ass wind.
And it transforms into a magical girl wand.
But I see your magical girl wand, and I counter with Hadouken!
Oh man, I like how even on this page with the ogre Hadouken, there's like a small panel where like the guy's kind of preparing, and even like the dog mask, like he looks like distressed for some reason, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, the shading like the dog mask's physical expression has not changed, but the shading makes it look concerned, which is really impressive.
Yeah, like even through the dog mask, you could tell this guy's like, okay, better get prepared.
This escalated way faster than I expected.
Haha, you fool! I can't really do a Hadouken. Quarter circles are too hard. So I just created an illusion to capture you. Now, let's take off your mask. And in the, Jake, what was that DC animated series thing where Lex Luthor took over the Flash's body and went, I have no idea who
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea who this is.
I have no idea who this is.
Barry Allen!
Yeah, that was a Justice League.
I don't know why Moy thought he would know who this is. Moy doesn't know a lot of people.
Nico does, though.
She does. She recognizes this guy immediately. Khan, what are you doing?
Yep, this is Khan. And we learn that he is a Tengu and is a second familiar for Nico.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Tengu. Oh, yeah. Despite the whole, bird aesthetic they have, they're called dogs of the mountain. Surely he is the dog from the prophecy who just happened to show up on a rainy day, and he's not actually dangerous. He's just presenting a fight. No, the prophecy seal is still in place. So, congratulations, it can get worse.
Well, and then we're introduced to Khan's bit, which is he's a shonen character until it's revealed that he's actually just broke.
I just like that his whole thing is Tengus and ogres have hated each other for generations.
I have literally never once thought about Tengu.
Yeah, I mostly picked it up from my dad. And when I say I picked it up from my dad, he's just really pissed off that Demon Slayer is about ogres and not about Tengus. Although he still does read a lot of Demon Slayer. He's really kind of just absorbed in Demon Slayer, and I think he wants it to be better than it is. So he's really projecting his wants onto it to pretend like it's a meaningful manga.
See, what I like about this is that it starts off as oh, well, why can't it be Tengu instead of ogres or whatever? And then it just kind of comes back around to like he hates ogres so much, he's like, yeah, get him, Demon Slayers, get that ogre. Kill the shit out of him. all while drinking his ogre killer sake. In case you didn't get it.
Oh.
Man,
This man hates ogres.
you know, that's a grudge a dwarf could be proud of. But yeah, Moy has never heard of this grudge in his entire life. He barely knew that Tengu actually existed. So he just does not care. And Khan takes extreme exception to this.
Yeah, he sure does.
Yeah, he keeps trying to create a rivalry that Moy is just
Come
not
on,
interested
be
in.
my shonen rival. We're basically Naruto and Sasuke. Be my rival.
There's a really good reaction he has where he's staring into Moy's blank eyes and just goes, the fact that you're not looking at me with any sort of excitement is just really just makes me upset. And then you've just got Nico on the sideline going like, you and me both, bro.
I love it because it seems like at first blush it's going to be like a love triangle situation, and it rapidly becomes clear that Khan and Nico do not have any romantic feelings towards each other in either direction. In fact, Khan's like, yeah, sure, I'll help you bag your catch.
They both basically share the same brain cell at some point.
Yeah. Their schemes aren't good.
They honestly act more like siblings.
Their
than
schemes
anything
aren't
else.
good. They're like Power and Denji tier in terms of planning, but
Oh.
They put on their smart person glasses.
Oh, but yeah, because Khan gets so worked up in his rivalry, he doesn't notice that Nico gets a package delivered, and that package is evil clothing. By evil clothing, I just mean Senketsu from Kill la Kill.
Yeah, except evil.
yeah, it is just Senketsu.
You're not wrong.
So evil.
But we're introduced to animate objects a little bit earlier because, Khan doesn't... He's trying to be Mr. Cool shonen action hero, so he doesn't want to talk about his dark backstory. So Nico just animates his umbrella to rat on him.
Yeah, who proceeds to roast him viciously.
And talk like a Mr. Rogers style TV show host.
So this is actually Tora-san, and I only know about this because Mr. Joey Weiser from the One Piece podcast is a huge fan of this film series. That's the only reason I know anything about this guy. He's basically like a lovable oaf, and he just has like an entire film franchise about him.
Huh.
That I guess ran between like the 60s and 90s. I've only seen like one of those films. I don't know if it's really my cup of tea, but he's I know at one point he was a pretty beloved character, and that's kind of the joke, is that like, oh, this umbrella basically sat next to the TV while these movies were on all the time. So he basically, I guess, is supposed to be talking like this character.
Yeah, that's one of the helpful captions, but that's also some good context for that.
I don't think I like the fridge horror that all items are at least partially sentient and absorb information from the world around them, and are just waiting for a magic wielder to come along and light the true spark of sentience in their mind.
No, Sam, we're not reading Gachikuta right now.
That said, Brelly, as we're gonna call him later, might be my secret favorite character.
He's pretty great. He just roasts the hell out of Han at every opportunity he gets, and he also said,
yeah, he's the calm straight man where Moy,
the put upon straight man,
reacts to the things around him. Yeah,
but Nico got a new outfit in the mail, and she was so excited she went to go immediately put it on. Unfortunately, this new item is one of these sentient animated objects, and it immediately takes control of the outfit, effectively locking her body in place and growing eyes right on her chest, which is all kinds of uncomfortable. And now, using her own magic, I will levitate myself and therefore her and kidnap the witch girl. Farewell, fools!
Also, to be fair, though, where else would you put eyes on an outfit?
True.
Yeah, I don't think there are better options.
Yeah, there aren't really better options. Moy just complains about it because long suffering.
Yeah. There's just varying different flavors of bad for that one.
Yeah.
Like armpit eyes.
Oh, no, I don't. I guess that's...
I don't like that at all.
That's the second best place, I guess.
Depends on if you're into that.
We don't kink shame on the Overmanga cast.
As much as we want to.
we just can't ask why. Oh. But yeah, the guys give chase to rescue their kidnapped witch.
Yeah, we get a bit of a showcase of Khan's power set. He has Crow Scouts. Much as Moy says that he is not in the least bit invested in this rivalry, we do also get an entire page of the two of them childishly one-upping each other to the point where they leave the Crow Scout behind.
That was pretty good.
I love the crow cawing like, "You idiots, I can't lead you if you're running ahead of me!" But yep, they give chase into a forest, where it's like, all right, so we've caught up to him, but now how are we actually going to get up there in order to deal with this? Hey, Tengu, can you fly? No, the bloodline is so diluted, any wings I have are basically vestigial, kind of like your horns, ogre. Well, boys, have you ever watched Mary Poppins? I do like this. Brelly is there to help, and it's like, all right, I guess we gotta work together to save her. So use your wind magic, and I'm gonna do an umbrella move,
and then the dress in self-defense gets super hard, and then he fingers it right off her.
Don't say it like that.
That's what happened.
He didn't finger it, he fisted it.
No, that's true, but worse.
You gotta be a gentleman.
Yeah, that's how you be a gentleman. Fister.
The dress hardening into a steel-like texture is it made it brittle, so he just punched along the hem and shattered the entire thing.
I will say, I think Shinohara really, really rides the line in terms of, like, because you know, like, at the time we're recording this, the anime is not out. So important context there. Like, this is one of those shows where, like, now that I'm, like, going back to read it, I'm just kind of like, oh man, people are definitely going to complain about some of these moments. But also, like, compared to the compared to the storied history of Shonen Jump titles that have existed, the fan service in this compared to other series that I'm sure we've all read, it's really not that bad.
Yeah,
no,
it's not
like,
bad.
She's got a bra, she's got pantyhose on.
Yeah.
This isn't even really a sexualized scene. Like, it's
no.
Yeah, there's like a initial surprise, and then almost immediately it like there's a bunch of wide shots, and then it cuts to her with a shirt on again.
Yeah.
So
like I don't know if I want to call it like tasteful, but at the same time I like that it's like, oh, it like this feels like, okay,
it's not leering.
No. Like this to me, this reads as, I don't really want to do this, but I feel, but like my editor told me to show like a little bit. I'm gonna give you a little bit, but I'm not gonna go overboard. And on some level, I do kind of appreciate that, at least.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes this work is that it's like motivated. Like, this makes sense. This isn't like randomly like showing showing fan service like for no reason.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, because it doesn't linger on it, it feels more natural. Like, this, like, if the plot line is objects can be animated to do things, and it's like animating someone's clothes to, like, carry them away with the magic clothes. What else are you gonna do? Like, this is the natural progression, and
it's like the sentient clothes from Undead it has about the same, like, I guess, horniness as the way the clothing is treated in Undead Unluck.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like it,
like the fan service in this, the very little there is, makes more sense than in something like, I don't know, Fire Force. You know what I mean? Like watch through the first season, like, just like, that was definitely a show where it's like that kind of stuff was like so in your face and just like totally just halts any momentum you have while watching that show, that it really kind of took me out of it at some points. So at least compared to something like that, this is honestly nowhere near as bad.
Did they get to the cat? Cat girl in season 1 of Fire Force? I don't remember.
I think that sounds vaguely familiar.
That character.
She's like one of 3 characters.
But no, but she's introduced. She was introduced a couple of arcs in of the manga, but so I don't know if she's in the first season of the anime.
Point being, I like the way you're talking about it. Like 100%, I agree with you. Like, I have a pulse. There is a time and place for fan service, and there's a lot of cases where it can be done in a way that's enjoyable. But like a series that will like go out of its way and stop narrative momentum to show things, like, buddy, I'm here for your story and your characters, not this other thing.
You can't find another good place for this. Like, I'm trying to watch this cool fight and I'm trying to be invested in the characters, but you gotta like flop titties in my face. Like, if I want to see titties, I can go somewhere else. Like, that's not what I'm here for.
Just pull an Eden Zero and have the cool fight, and then have everyone go to the hot spring afterwards.
Exactly.
I mean, basically, yeah.
Every single time without fail.
Yeah, that sounds like Mashiba. Yeah.
I respect the consistency. But with the possessed dress defeated, Moy happened to be wearing an overshirt, which he gives to Nico to help her cover up. And I love this. Kana's like, all right, cool. So I'm going to be staying with you guys now. What makes you think you can just invite yourself into my home? I mean, I was actually kind of supposed to be here the entire time, but at which point Broly goes, he's fibbing. He just wants to cover up his gambling debt.
He was too busy drinking and smashing and spending.
Important, no, he was drinking soda because he's a minor.
He was drinking soda and smashing home runs at the batting cage and spending Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I'm like, they were so close. They could have just translated the last one as playing cards, and it would have been a perfect threefer of
why is a high schooler doing this?
He's just drinking, smashing, and playing cards.
You know, if he had a little more foresight, he could have turned those pack openings into a YouTube channel and made bank.
Yeah, then he could have covered his gambling addiction with more gambling.
I really want to highlight the moment where Khan gets upset with the umbrella. He's like, I'm gonna snap you in half, and the umbrella's like, well, bring it on, Sonny. I'll fuck you up.
You know, considering the level of autonomy that the dress had, I wouldn't be surprised if Brelly could basically be like an animated sword. Like something out of D&D.
Or, you know, he could open up and kind of float above you and kind of float down and then like ensnare you. Like he could close up and close you inside the umbrella. I could see that.
Oh yeah.
Suffocate.
Truly a terrifying opponent. But Nico is thrilled because now it means, the boys get to hang out and be friends. Yay! She snaps a selfie with the two of them literally fighting.
They're both so lonely and just want another friend, and they just won't admit it.
Yeah, we just need to have them be friends. Which is why I'm going to mind control them with this Pocky.
Oh boy.
I'm going to drug them with what is essentially a love potion, but just makes people good friends.
Yes.
They were roommates.
I don't like the implication that means that Nico does know how to make a love potion.
Yeah.
Nico should not have this power. I mean, to be fair, she hasn't already used it on Moy, so credit where it's due.
She's not using it for her own
She still uses it now.
No, she just uses it to hook up her two friends and then gets a little too into their physical relationship.
Hey, Khan, man, come here. I want to give you a hug, man. Just come on, I want to give you a hug. No, I don't want to hug you.
Oh no, don't hug in front of me.
Don't. That'd be
awful.
Just terrible. It turns into a gag chase sequence from there.
Pretty funny gag in that it's like drugged Pocky, and because they're super friendly, they're just offering it to people, and then it's just a chain of them, the neighbor kids, and a dog, all just like shoulder hugging,
like swaying down the street like a bunch of drunken dudes.
This might be the biggest laugh this series got out of me so far, honestly.
Just that panel of
the progressively smaller bros.
Dog, child, tween, two teenagers just like drunk slumping on each other. It's peak. That poor sheep does not know what's going on, but he's having a good time.
My favorite joke in this manga is actually immediately after that, where Moy has been like talked to by Nico's just like, nah, Khan's he doesn't know anyone around here. He's such a lonely guy. I was just trying to make sure you two could be friends together. And then Moy just goes like, yeah, he is just a lonely guy. Maybe he's like me, lonely at his soul and constantly pushing other people away. Not really sure how to make that first connection. I know, I'll be his one and only friend. And then like 17 people come out of the woodworks going like, oh man, Khan, love this guy. Man, you just made 17 friends on your walk around the neighborhood.
Oh, hey, God, thanks for getting my balloon out of the tree earlier. Hey, you're welcome, kid. Oh, thank you for telling me your stories. That's so interesting. Yeah, live a long life, Granny.
Oh, Khan, you have absolutely no trouble making friends. Nor should anyone, unless there comes kind of friendless loser.
What is this, a 70s sitcom? This feels like something out of Three's Company.
We end on the best way of making friends, playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's time to duel!
It is modern Yu-Gi-Oh! So that scene only lasted 30 seconds and then they hated each other again.
I was going to say, if it's modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Then they're not friends.
No, it lasted 15 minutes and one draw phase.
Don't even.
So it's classic Yu-Gi-Oh!
Don't even get me started on one of the last times I actually tried to play the card game with another human being, and I think he literally beat me in like 2 turns. It was demoralizing.
So he went easy on you.
I was going to say, you didn't get OTK'd by that completely invincible Dark Magician and Red Eyes fusion that happens in the draw phase of turn 1?
God, it's like playing Magic against one of our friends from college. I did not spend the money that Lauren did.
Nope. That's the real secret. Just spend enough money on the card game.
What do you mean you have 7 mana turn 2? What do you mean I'm the green player? How did this happen? Anyway, we have Morihito chapter in because honestly, he's been kind of on the back foot for the last few, so we need to have him doing something cool. Unfortunately, he can only be set up to do something cool after the others do something incredibly stupid.
I just love this because, like, they had been setting up Khan to maybe be a love rival, and then this chapter's just like, nah, we ain't this type of manga. Khan is just here to get his friend laid.
Yeah, I appreciate the Khan's kind of the wingman here.
Yeah.
He's just like,
yeah.
Oh, so you're totally into him, right? Yeah, he's good looking. I can understand why. Let's get you a piece, homegirl, because you're not the only one noticing how hot he is. He is a hot commodity around here.
It's like in the aftermath of her trying the pajama thing again, because it's her and Khan sitting in the living room just like, hey, are you two dating? No. Do you want to be? Yes. All right, cool. Let me see if I can do something to help you out here. How do I make a girl hotter? Aha! Beauty commercials. That's the best way to get information.
We need a breeze. We need to flutter the hair.
I can control the wind, so I can make you look like a slow motion shot from a movie, and it'll be really sexy, and it'll make his heart instantly melt for you.
I love the bit where Morihito walks by on them clearly talking about their plan. He's just like, I'm not even gonna bother. No, I'm going to bed.
they are like heads together whispering conspiratorially, and he's like, whatever they're up to, it's no good, and me learning about it won't save me.
I think I'm going to be locking my bedroom door from now on.
The dimwit duo. Yeah, next day at school, Nico tries to go for her best slow motion sexy walk while Khan uses his wind magic to make her hair and skirt flutter seductively. It's not working because moi is moi. Quick, turn.
Which is saying something, because she looks like the cover of a Rosario vampire manga.
She really does.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, it's a really cool panel, honestly. But, no, we need more flutter.
We need more flutter. So he sends out more wind, which turns her into Dio. Ho ho! So you're approaching me.
You're approaching me. And, like, here's stone-faced Mori over it. Because it's like, this is the first time he's reacting. But I find it, like, this is the first time he's, like, scared of something. Like, he's feeling physical fear.
And given some of the other panels, it's like that one chapter in Uzumaki when the girl's hair turns into the tentacle spirals.
Yeah.
It's so... The school nurse happens by, sees this, and is wigged out. Hey, nurse, do I look pretty? You look like a corpse. Come on, we're going to the office. Oh, crap, I stepped into the localized gust of air. Sent all of the student body measurement records fluttering into the breeze.
And it's
all of the girls.
It just happened to be all the girls ones.
Because we needed to set up this scene to make Morihito as desirable as possible to the female populace of this school.
Yeah, like, the chapter literally opened with him asking Nico her weight, because he's like, knowing one's BMI is an important part of health. I'm not telling you my weight. Why not? Because you don't ask a girl that.
I need to know if I can bench you. It's important to know this.
Oh, girls don't like being asked about their weight. Oh no, and their measurements are in the wind? Time to activate my secret technique. We also set this up by having me practice catching leaves while blindfolded.
You know, leaf training.
He catches all of the girls' body measurement records, hands them to the nurse, and goes, I haven't looked at a single one.
He's triangle jumping over the entire courtyard, eyes closed. He is him.
And you just hear the collective, like, squeal of all the women in this school.
I have fear not, girls. I have protected your chastity.
And Nico's just like, fuck, I made him even hotter. That's great.
More competition. Yay me.
Yeah. Man, I gotta do a lot of undercutting now.
Oh, great chapter.
So, this next chapter is definitely an interesting idea.
It has nothing to do with our main characters.
Miss Makua notices her student, Kukumi, showing some yaoi fan art of a shonen battle manga, which is described as so generic that it can just... It's... How vague and generic it is makes it more popular. And I'm like, I know exactly what this is.
You know the one.
Oh, wait, Jay's not on the podcast. We can just say
it. Good thing she'll never listen to this.
You don't know how true that
is. Known for its vague world building and mystery-laden dialogue, it does just enough well-spaced plot reveals to keep people guessing.
Yep. It's about high schoolers fighting with swords.
I was just like, holy shit. How did you nail World of Warcraft so well?
But yeah, this entire chapter is essentially our otaku teacher going, my god, I'm on all the message boards, and she is a newcomer in the artist space. That is some hot yaoi fan art. I've favorited that art. Wait, she is my idol, the goddess who makes the top tier yaoi fan art of my ship. My god, I worship the ground she walks on, but I'm still a teacher. I can't show that I like this degrading anime. And I'll admit I skimmed this because there is just a novel of her thoughts in the middle here.
She has
page.
I desperately tried to read all of it because I try to do that sort of thing. I skimmed this because that's the joke.
I started skimming it, and then in the act of skimming it, I read the passage. Yet, there's even more attention to erotic details like muscle definition and blushing cheeks, making them more crisp and defined. It's a good example of how artwork brimming with the artist's kinks can really grab a viewer. And I had to...
Really?
That made me, like, roll back in my office chair, take off my glasses and go, she's your student!
Yeah.
Look...
She's being completely normal about this.
Look, guys, it's have you never spent how many is this 6 to 7 paragraphs critiquing your favorite fan art online? You've never done that?
I mean, okay, yeah, I'm throwing stones in my glass house, but I didn't personally know the art.
Don't draw attention to yourself. Don't draw attention to yourself. Don't draw attention to yourself.
I didn't personally know the artist and have a power dynamic over them.
I think I wrote the outline for this episode, and it's not 6 to 7 paragraphs.
Oh, hey guys, by the way, get ready for more chapters like this. This doesn't end here.
Oh, no.
Oh, good.
You know, if I'm not
this is really funny, so I am on board with that.
Reading this on a deadline, bit of a moment of, oh god, what am I getting into? If I know that if I read this without a deadline, I'd be like, hell yeah, this is a peak chapter. I love it.
Just to pull back the curtain a little bit, when we were talking about like how many chapters to cover for the show today, I was talking with Matt about like, you know, how many we should do. And I did purposely kind of hold back a little bit in terms of what I personally thought we should cover, just because, you know, Kenta Shinohara, he's not as bad as somebody, you know, like earlier we mentioned Srirachi. He used to be an assistant on Gintama. Gintama is very, very wordy sometimes, especially in the beginning. Or, you know, he's also not as wordy as, say, like Sugumi Oba in basically anything he writes. So much so to the point where, like, he calls that out in Bakuman without like any self-awareness whatsoever, and it's like one of the funniest moments in that entire series. So the point I'm trying to make is I purposely kind of held back because it's like, oh yeah, this is Kenta Shinohara, he's a little wordy sometimes, and credit where credit's due, the word count for this series hasn't been that bad so far. At least up until we got to this chapter.
Yeah, and I mean, that chapter, the joke is it's a wall
For
of
sure,
text.
yeah.
Like, that's literally the point. Like, skimming it, like skimming it and then finding really weird sentences that you have a morbid curiosity of the context for, like, that's the whole bit.
Yeah, my skimming eyes
honestly,
hit brimming with the artist's kinks, and I'm like, okay, hold the fucking phone.
Hold on, this is not a thought you should have about a friendship with your student.
I did read all of this, and it was very good. Like, it's really funny because we're also recording this around the time that a certain moment in the 100 Girlfriends That Really, 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 Really Love You got animated. If you know, you know.
Oh no,
that got animated.
That one.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
I saw the clip on Twitter. It was pretty good. I think they handled that pretty well.
That's amazing.
Oh, okay. I'm pulling that one up on YouTube right now for after the recording. But yeah, my favorite part of this chapter is how the sensei, like the girls are just sitting around, they're talking about their fan art. Sensei walks into the classroom just going to get something, and she's just casually overhearing this conversation. She hears her hyperfixation of shonen manga, walks in, and then the Detective Conan or just the detective novel sequence of her piecing together tidbits of information as these girls, in casually discussing their friends' fan art aspirations, drop every bit of evidence necessary for her to put together, oh god, I followed her for years. She's my Oshi.
And honestly, the thing that I find most funny about this whole situation is Sensei is being completely and totally normal
She's
about
trying
this.
so hard. She is
Meanwhile-
stone-faced. She is just continuing to walk to her desk, pick up her things, move out of the room, just completely blank expression, normal. Inside her head, wall of text.
And meanwhile, Kukumi is actually kind of normal about this.
Wow. She's testing the waters is what's happening with her.
But when you compare the reaction of the two of them, it's they're both fans of this thing and they both engage with it deeply. So she goes in oh, I figured out you like this thing too. Let's talk about it. Meanwhile,
well, there is a great panel of Kukumi essentially doing this SpongeBob face of you like yaoi manga, don't you?
Don't you, Sensei?
Oh, I love the way this builds up. Or obviously the Miss Makuwa, she's constantly denying that she likes this manga. And Kukumi keeps bringing up all this damning evidence, oh, don't you have a couple volumes over there? I was just skimming them. Oh, what do you think about this one arc? I kind of skimmed through it. I don't really remember any of it. And then she just
but she keeps giving little details.
And then the cherry on top is, oh, I happen to found this keychain that was only available at this one event. Is this yours?
The death blow that was.
Oh no.
I also love how Miss Makua is trying so hard not to be a cringe fangirl. Yeah. She's desperately trying to avoid all of this and is just acting more and more like an early 2000s, early internet days weeaboo.
Yeah.
All the cringe we did as tweens is emerging through this panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that to me is sort of the reason why I say Kukumi, she's being normal about this because it's okay that you're a fan of my fan art. I appreciate that. Let's be fans of this thing we both like.
Yeah, I thought that was actually kind of refreshing. She's just look, teacher, I don't know, just stop hiding it. I could tell you're a fan. I'm cool. I'm cool to talk more about our favorite series together. Like it's cool. Like that was weirdly kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically the swerve is that she tries so hard to not be cringe that she kind of comes off as cringe.
Yeah, I like that. Like, there's a lesson to be had in that. Like, embrace the things you love, and it's not,
You'll be less cringe by dint of confidence.
Yeah, it's not inherently cringe to like something, you know?
I think the real MVP here, though, is Kara, who sees Kukabi and the teacher hanging out together, and in her brain just goes like, oh god, they're both nerds. I'm not gonna touch this. Come on, Nico, let's go to
Let's go eat somewhere else today.
We're gonna let them be nerds in Nerd World. Which, that's true friendship right there.
We're not third wheeling this one.
All right, and now we've gotten to the chapter that I suggested we end on.
I like the amount of hope I had going in that it's like, oh, hey, we remembered the plot point we mentioned at the very beginning of our reading and then basically never again, which was the entire point Nico is here, is to do good deeds so she can get good deed coupons and become a good witch. So she's like, better set up shop and get my good deed coupons. And we get the guy who's got, like, problems
with the classmate with IBS. Is like, can you give me a stealth spell so that I can sneak out of the classroom to poo?
Because this guy has had so much trauma dealing with having to go to the bathroom all the time because he got like relentlessly made fun of in elementary school, and it's just it's to the point where he can't even like raise his hand in class because he's that afraid to say like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like it's sad.
I might be telling on myself, but I empathize. I still have trouble with public restrooms.
That guy's pooping in there.
Quick, crawl under the door.
Oh, no thanks.
Quick, crawl over the door.
You know, anybody listening to this, if you ever do that to me, that is a good way to get curb stomped. I'm just letting you know. Don't ever do that to me.
Fair enough.
That's why you go over.
Now I'm going to have to buy a swing.
Shoryuken! Hit him with the DP.
Now I'm thinking about that movie Glorious.
Oh, God!
No! Oh, if you ever want to see J.K. Simmons do the voice of Cthulhu from inside a truck stop men's room, Glorious is a movie to watch.
Okay, I'm going to Letterboxd right now.
Listen, a little bit of a behind-the-scenes peek for the podcast. If you thought No Read November was unhinged, it is so much weirder when we're actually recording those episodes.
Yeah. We needed something to do in between episodes, so it's like, this looks like a fun post of a movie, and then
it was a movie.
No Read November is when we find really weird movies to wash the taste of terrible live-action anime movies out of our mouths.
Okay, sorry. Okay, if you guys are looking for bad movies, I want this on the record. If it's still on Tubi, because I think that's where it is right now, because of course it's on Tubi, please watch The Ginger Dead Man sometime. It is one of my favorite all-time bad movies. It is literally a movie about a killer played by Gary Busey, by the way, who he dies and then is resurrected as a demonic gingerbread man.
Oh,
yeah,
I think I've heard of that.
Oh my God.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. They have a real gingerbread man puppet in that, and he looks he looks like something. I'll tell you that much.
He sure does look.
All I know is while looking this up, I found a promo for a movie called Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong.
Man, I've watched at least 4 or 5 Evil Bong movies at this point. I don't know if that franchise is worth it. I am going to watch all those eventually. That was something I tried to do last Halloween, and I couldn't get through all of them. They're basically...
Why is he wearing the Evil Bong like a strap-on? Why does he have Freddy Krueger's hat?
Those are all questions... that either have answers and I haven't got to them, or they will never have answers. I don't know which one's right.
Sharks of the Corn 2, when?
Sharks of the Corn was great.
I want to see Shark do it myself.
All right, Colton's getting invited to the next No Read November just for the bad movie night.
Hey, yeah, if you guys do a fucking episode on Ginger Dead Man, please call me.
Yes.
You need to get that trauma out.
I've seen this movie like 3 times, and I'm going to see it a 4th time thanks to you guys, probably.
Oh, so back on topic.
Back to the man who has trouble shooting, so he needs to be able to be invisible.
I like the way that this spell works. It tickled something in my brain because it doesn't make you invisible. It makes you not noticeable.
Yeah.
To the point where like people forget you were even there in the first place, which is a very Dresden Files way of doing the magic. Except instead of, using it to blow up city blocks in Chicago, Nico uses it to be cute.
She keeps popping in and out of reality and confusing everybody.
Holy shit, where'd you come from?
Ta-da!
The whole time.
Why do you keep appearing?
Ah! Gotta put a bell on you or something.
She's literally wearing one. It's on her choker.
Oh god, I didn't notice.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so long as you keep your index fingers extended and cross your arms in an X, you will be impossible to notice. Well, not impossible. It will severely dampen your presence to the point where only somebody with extremely good senses could notice you. Such as the football coach, who I think just might be Donkey Kong.
He has those animal senses.
A little bit.
He's built like Donkey Kong at any rate.
Moy doing the guy a solid. Also uses the unnoticeable spell, but makes a point of stomping around to draw the coach away.
You go poo, I'll take care of this.
This would be a totally badass line if it wasn't so stupid.
He makes it into the end zone. He gets into the stall and then realizes, oh crap, I can't pull down my pants without undoing the pose.
Undoing the spell.
And if I do that, then people are suddenly going to notice that my seat is empty in the classroom. And I'll not have any excuse for why I disappeared. Oh, the bell rang. All right, quick, this is my chance. Drop the spell. Drop the pants. Drop the load.
And then...
Direct quote.
Boy.
And then the second he starts pooping, 3 men enter the bathroom, which is...
True.
Just how it always seems to go.
A moment of true terror.
Yeah.
But then the swerve is that like they're just cool about it.
One guy thinks about going like, someone's in there already. It's like, yeah, are you in grade school? Like, are you gonna mock someone for pooping? And he's just like, yeah, you're right. I am mature. Sorry, King. You keep doing what you do. Because I learned the real lesson in life is that true kings help each other up. They don't kick each other down.
Stay on your throne.
And we all learned a moral lesson, I think.
I love how then we get the just cut back to him after those people leave. He's like, maybe I was just being a baby about this. I feel really bad that I had to ask for help here.
Man, problems always seem bigger when you're the one having it. It's fine. I'm just glad I was able to help. At which point, Nico's magic wand pings with a new color, showing that she has leveled up as a trainee witch.
She helped someone, so now she gets extra experience points.
This
quest complete.
This manga might be the best thing ever written on that alone, honestly.
But yeah, thus brings us to the end of our reading. So, favorite character. This did have a fight in it, but we didn't get enough shonen-iness going on quite yet to have a favorite fight. Yeah, save that for a part 2. But favorite character. I think it's funny. The characters all have such strong personalities that, interacting with them initially, it's like, wow, this person is kind of much. I don't know if I would I don't know if I'm going to like this. And then I read a little more and I'm like, oh no, this actually is like pretty well balanced. It all evens out nicely. It plays well off each other.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's hard to say who stands out because it's all just really well balanced. Honestly, I think Kukumi, the fan artist, she is a side character who barely showed up, but her lesson of be cringe and be free is always one that I will back. And I don't know, this manga really gives me a feeling that the background characters both have a lot of room to grow, and it will make good on that potential, which isn't an impression I get a lot. So I don't know, for giving me hope for the secondary cast, I'll give it to her.
Yeah, no, for sure.
How about you, Colton?
You know, it's tough because, like, I hadn't really, like, thought about that going in today. I don't know, kind of thinking about it, it's kind of an easy answer, but I think in terms of a character who, when I first started picking this up around the time it started running, that I don't think I appreciated as much, at least up until, like, I reread these chapters today, it's probably Morihito, just because, like, I don't know, like, going through these chapters again, I actually really appreciate the lengths that Shinohara goes, even during something like, you know, this last chapter that we just read with the guy trying to poop. It's kind of amazing that even through that, like, the lesson he kind of takes away from that is, maybe we shouldn't, like, hide certain parts of ourselves after all. Like, I don't know, I really enjoy kind of the development he gets in the beginning here, where, like, he's kind of learning to open up more to people and to be a little more approachable, and I don't, like, he's coming out of his shell a little bit more with each and every, you know, silly story we have here, and I don't know, I really appreciate that about him specifically. I think Shinohara has done a great job developing him over the course of the beginning here.
Agreed. Jacob, how about you? Favorite character?
It's a bit of a toss-up between Nico and Kara, because I love the goblin energy they both have. Nico just had more, but there's something about Kara that I just find so entertaining. Like I loved the fact that she was, like, simultaneously trying to and, like, hoping for Morihito to be an option for her, but also kind of liking the ship of him and Nico, like, simultaneously, and just, like, having all of the emotions about that. I loved that. That was one of the funniest moments for me. Yeah, I think I have to go with Kara, just because she stood out to me for how little that she had. And like Sam mentioned, like, she's gonna do stuff. Like, she's gonna get her chapters eventually, I'm sure. And she's too designed not to, if nothing else. But also, the series does seem like the kind that's going to, like, you know, pay off an ensemble
And just
cast.
real quick, I want to say that you know, as somebody who, again, has been reading Shinohara's work for a very long time and is a big fan of Sket Dance, I could definitely tell you that there's a, you know, just judging from that series alone, like, you know, he's not a stranger to ensemble casts. Like, he's done this kind of thing before. So, you know, as much as I haven't, like, you know, there's still a lot of this series that I haven't read myself, but I'm very much looking forward to maybe reading more just to see, like, because I have faith in Shinohara that these characters are going to become more fleshed out as it goes on. So.
All right, and Matt.
I gotta go with Khan.
Yeah,
Khan is my exact level of like, I love this character. He is kind of dumb, but not like stupid. He just doesn't care. He's just invested in having a good time. He's just making friends all over the place, and he wants to get his friend laid. There's nothing wrong with that.
I can respect a man with that level of dedication. All right. And would you continue reading? Colton, would you continue reading, or would you pick back up reading? Has this refreshed your verve for the series?
Oh man, yeah. I'm in this weird place where like I haven't really been reading as much manga lately as I would like to. I've been kind of on and off with like the stuff I read. Sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I'll pick up Don, or maybe I'll pick up Spy Family. I have a lot of stuff that I need to catch up on, just because I really didn't. I kind of fell off of manga a little bit for a couple months last year, kind of dealing with my move or whatever. So life stuff happens, but. I mean, I don't know. Going through this beginning part of Witch Watch again really reminds me like, oh yeah, this series is almost like 200 chapters now. I really probably should try to catch up, because again, I've said it millions of times on this episode, I genuinely love Shinohara's work, so I feel like a very bad Shinohara fan if I don't catch up with this at some point. But yeah, no, just off the goodwill that his series have given me alone in the past, like I'm definitely gonna read more of this at some point. So the more important question is, would you guys read more of it? That's what I want to know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. For me, this was again, I feel like being able to read this without a deadline is going to, like, I already really enjoyed this, but reading it without a deadline would vastly improve my enjoyment of it.
That's entirely fair.
Yeah, so I could just have the time to appreciate because like the gags are good. The gags are set up well. Yeah. Even the like wall of text slap you in the face one, it's funny on multiple levels.
Yes.
And like taking the time to actually appreciate that, I think would just make me like it even more. So that's a hearty yes from me.
All right, cool.
How about you, Matt?
Yeah, I think I would continue reading this. It normally I don't vibe super well with like slice of life stuff, but at no point in this did I feel bored, which is normally where I kind of bounce off of that. Also, calling this slice of life is probably a bit of a stretch on that genre, but I don't know what you'd call this, but it's something in the middle.
I think it kind of has elements of slice of life, but I don't. It's one of those things where it's like, like this is the kind of series where like I think it lends very well to like, oh, if you want to pick this up and read like a couple chapters or a volume or something, and then kind of put it down for a couple weeks or a month or whatever, like this is the kind of series you could just kind of pick back up and put back down whenever you want, I guess, outside of whatever longer arcs Shinohara decides to do. But outside of that, like I think Shinohara even describes it in the beginning as like the kind of series that's kind of the equivalent of like, that one friend that you kind of see every once in a while. Like that's kind of the vibe he's going for. And I think he kind of succeeds at that person.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. This fills a similar niche that series like Reborn do for me. Although I realize I've cursed this by mentioning Reborn.
Oh no.
But the first bit of Reborn was really good.
Yeah, but before all the crazy shit happens, I have to confess, I've only read like one volume of Reborn. Reborn is one of the few big shonen series that just like weirdly passed me by, but I've always wanted to read it.
That's Beelzebub for me.
Beelzebub I did read, weirdly.
And Jacob, would you continue reading?
Yeah, I definitely continue reading. Gosh, it's going on my list. It's not at the top of my list, so it's going to take me a while to get to it, but I'm gonna commit to getting to it. This might be a little bit of a left field comparison, but I get the same vibe of this that I did from You and I Are Polar Opposites, but for completely different reasons. Both of them are like I think it's fair to say that they're both slice of life to a degree. Like they're different kinds of slice of life, but they're, like at their core, they're a slice of life comedy. And the thing that got me engaged with You and I Are Polar Opposites is the characters and the friend group dynamic of that series is unbelievably amazing. It is a true slice of life, so it has no like hook. Like it lives or dies on the engagement with the characters and their dynamic. There is no plot, there is no like gimmick to keep you invested, and like Matt said, and this is something I've mentioned of Slice of Life before, I tend to fall off of it because if there's not some kind of like through line for the story, like I just lose track of it. Meanwhile, this series, it's kind of the same thing where it's like the characters are really good, but they're like standard, like they don't stand out in the same way that you and I are polar opposites characters do. They're just like solid, A tier craft. But it does have this gimmick of we're gonna get fights. There's a plot line here. There's a prophesied doom and magic and stuff. I feel like they're sort of paired in my mind because one of them is this is the slice of life that is just like the characters are so good. Even, my wandering mind gets attached to them and like latches on, versus this is a slice of life light that, fills in the continued engagement of the audience by adding magic and fight scenes and a little bit of, extra stuff to give it narrative momentum so it doesn't feel like you're spinning your wheels. Really enjoyed it, and even with how wordy it can be at times, it's also a fairly brisk read. You can bite a decent chunk out of it in one sitting pretty easily, so hopefully I'll get to it.
Yes,
fingers crossed. Thank you, everybody, once again for tuning in to the Over Manga Cast, and make sure to check out our guest, Colton, and all the things he does. Colton, what are all the things that you do? Tell the people. Let them find you.
Oh, boy. Man, so I do a lot of stuff that I could probably spend, like, at least another hour talking about, but I won't. So the short version is you can... I mean, if you want to follow me, first off, don't bother following me on Twitter. I hate Twitter. You can follow me on Blue Sky, preferably at sniperking323.bsky.social. I'm on there a little more often. You can, if you're interested in anything I do, you can check out my personal blog at coltoncorner.wordpress.com. That's my personal blog. You can click on the podcast page, check out basically anything I'm doing at the moment, anything I'm not doing anymore, but I still want to link anyway for posterity reasons. As well as other guest spots and other podcasts I've done over the 10 plus years I've been doing this, like my previous episodes of Over Manga Cast. You should maybe go listen to those. I guess if I had to like highlight maybe just like a couple things I do, obviously the big one is Manga Mavericks I mentioned earlier. We once again, we are a podcast that not only talks about manga as a medium, but as an industry. We've been a little slow on releasing stuff recently, but we've been trying to kind of get back in the swing of things. The last couple of episodes we've done have been discussions on stuff like Uzumaki and Ouran High School Host Club, but we've also done big, huge series discussions on things in the past, like Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh, My Love Story, all your favorites. We've covered a lot of good stuff. And we've also even done an entire episode on Sket Dance as well. A few years ago at this point. So if you want to hear me talk even more about one of my favorite series of all time, you should go listen to that episode. So definitely go listen to Manga Mavericks. The only other thing I want to promote that I haven't had a chance to promote as much in other things is a little podcast that I'm doing over at the SSA Network at ssanetwork.com, Wheel of Scoob, which is a Scooby-Doo podcast that we decided to do on a whim. The gimmick for this show is that we decided, what if we just watched all of the Scooby-Doo filmography, except we have a wheel pick every movie. And it is...
I love it. I'm going to go subscribe right now.
Wheel of Scoob.
That is peak.
It has been a very fun show. The wheel spins have yielded some very funny results. We've had to cover the Velma TV show twice. And we're probably going to keep doing it as long as we land on bankrupt. So I want to say the first 10 episodes are available for free on our Patreon. and then the rest are behind the dollar paywall. But honestly, it's fucking worth it. You should go listen to it. It's probably one of my favorite things I'm doing right now. So if you like your Scooby-Doo and you want to hear us talk about some pretty good ones, but mostly pretty middling to terrible ones, please go listen to Wheel of Scoob once again at ssanetwork.com.
I have already pulled up the first episode. I'm going to be doing that. Well, I'm going to be doing that when we're done recording. That sounds amazing.
Doc and Foxy are going to be very happy to hear that.
Hell yeah.
I mean, this podcast is no stranger to the Scooby mythos. We did do an episode in the distant past.
God. Should we do Scoob and Shag Part 2?
If you guys do, I'll listen to it, because I did listen to that first one, and I just couldn't even believe what I was hearing.
We didn't even get to the deep lore is the problem.
Yeah, we stopped right before it.
So what you're saying is you guys are going to
do
do another episode.
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
At some point.
maybe.
So make sure to go check out all of Colton's stuff. And if you're curious about us, then find us on all of your social medias, where we are at OverMangaCast.
You can also find us on YouTube, where you can like, comment, and subscribe. You can also we also have overmangacast.com, which also has a comment section. Tell us what you think of the episode. Give us recommendations. We love hearing from you.
We also appreciate reviews in any and all forms. Go ahead, reach out. 5 stars. That's the only stars I accept. And, recommendations are always great. If you want us to read more Scoob and Shag. Shag and Scoob? I forget. It's the opposite way around.
It's the opposite of what you think it should be, just to be infuriating.
Go ahead, reach out. We, like I said, this was a recommendation. We even got Colton on. If you've got other people you want to get on, I don't know. People we've been episodes for, I don't know. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not your mom. Speaking of people who aren't your mom, Sam, what are we reading next?
Next time, we're going to be reading Please Put Them On, Takamine-san, chapters 1 through 12. So if you're keeping up with the show, be sure to read that, and we'll see you all 2 Thursdays from now. Remember the new schedule. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. I don't have a bit prepared. Why would you do this to me, Sam? Why would you put me on the spot? Why would you do this? What behavior could I have ever done to you that would have prompted this response?
Keep on watching that witch. See you later, guys.
Hey!
That wasn't anything. You don't have to use that.